In today's episode, we are going to be sitting down with Komang Arnawa, 2 times world champion in bodybuilding, a bit of a throwback to Bali, Indonesia. Komang will tell us the story, how at times he couldn't even afford eggs to keep fueling his bodybuilding career.
I didn't have enough money to buy even eggs or chicken or even supplement back then. Commit on one thing, so I have to finish.
How he was able to push through that, to go first to Australia and then being invited to the United States to compete at the Muscle Mania. But even more, Komang will share with us a few little details about Balinese culture and how that helped him to strengthen his mind, to find balance, and overall to get to the place where he is now. I had a good time sitting down with Komang and talking to him, and I hope you enjoy it as well.
We have a spirit in water, we have a spirit in fire and everything. So we maintain the relationship between human and human.
That's a secret.
So I just somehow love doing that. So I just...
Welcome back to the Got a World to See podcast. Three, two, one. And with that, welcome back to the Got a World to See podcast. Today with my guest, Komang, 2 times pro world champion in natural bodybuilding, president of the IFBB in Indonesia. And we just hit a workout together. I'm sitting here jittering a little bit, setting up the podcast. Very excited to have you on. How do you feel after the workout?
Well, thanks, Dan. Especially your time today that we shoot some exercises in there, and it's actually waking me up to basically to start my day. So it's actually, I feel pumped actually after that.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. So I would say today I would like to talk just a little bit about your story, where you come from. You told me born and raised in Bali. And kind of like your background, like in the sport for what is it, decades, 20, maybe even like almost 30 years, right?
I would say 26 years.
26.
Yeah, experience in at the beginning just as a hobby, and then everyone just love exercise at the beginning because I'm in the martial art. When I was 10, I started martial art 10.
Okay.
And then improving myself in martial arts, self-defense, and actually helps to build my discipline from there. And especially back then, we mostly my parents just wake me up in the morning like at 7 o'clock. so with this martial art helps me with my discipline, get up in the morning, especially when you feeling fit. Yeah. So in a way, it helps me to build the great foundation, I would say, at a younger age. And helps with my focus to do at a young age. For me, it's very important to know that what we really want to do, and that somehow give us also motivation. So from the martial art and then serious into bodybuilding, and it's funny because in the past with the martial art, my sensei encouraged me to combine with weight training, actually to give us strength, to build my strength. And then I did that, and it's just, it's addictive. It's a bodybuilding, it's kind of like addiction. So
what would you say, what is it about it? Is it the way you feel, the way you look?
That's right. It's actually, you feel pumped after the exercise,
alive.
Right? Yeah. So you feel like, wow, you've done something. You feel like something, your blood rushing around inside, and you feel that the heart rate up, and you feel like good. And especially after you do it quite sometimes, you see the difference, your body composition, you look it's looking nice. Yeah. So it's just something that gives you a motivation to do it again. That's what I see as an addiction, but it's a positive addiction, I would say. Yeah.
Sure. I would say for me that is really the big part. Some people there, let's say, they work a lot in their field, but they kind of like neglect the physical part in a way of like, oh, it's just a look, it doesn't matter that much. But what I noticed for myself, after years, just how it wakes me up, how it makes me feel. And like before I work out, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can start today, if I'll feel good. After the workout, the world is mine. I got this. Is that kind of like...
you feel fit, right? And you feel like, oh, I can conquer the world.
Exactly, that's what we talked about before.
It's a testosterone kind of thing. We dominate. It's all about domination. But throughout my experience in the past, because my parents, most of the time, actually sharing the story about Balinese mythology, and it's about Balinese. It's a culture. So before we sleep at night, my parents, especially my father, share us a story about Balinese mythology, like why we do offering, and you know what I mean. It's because we are pretty much community oriented. So we have spirits in everything. Yes, we have a spirit in water. We have a spirit in fire and everything. So I grew up in the environment where this is something that I really into it. And at the time, my father loved to tell stories. And one thing that I still remember until now is actually what he understands about life in balance. So he said to me once about, if you want to live happy, I want you to remember this thing. And until now, it's still in my head. How long was that? Was already 40 years.
14?
40.
40.
Yes. He said, well, if you picture yourself about, if you draw something like a cross sign. Mm-hmm. So if you position yourself in the middle, so in Bali, we have this philosophy called Tri Hita Karana. So we maintain the harmony between human and the nature, human and the universe. So we position ourselves in the middle. If we picture ourselves, that cross picture in the middle, so we maintain the relationship between human and human, which is our friends, our family, community. That's left, and then on the right we maintain our relationship with our parents as the ancestor that's still alive. And then if you go to the bottom, it's actually the environment. So we look after our nature. So like for me, I'm involved in the project of Bali Clean, for example, Save Bali Water. So at least something that I can contribute. So as a Balinese, that philosophy is still in my blood, that I want to always maintain myself in that position. And above that is actually, we believe in positive energy. So everything is energy is a positive. It's just us because we sometimes feeling good about ourselves. We're feeling tired. That's where the negative energy comes around. We're becoming negative sometimes. So back then, it's something that my parents, especially my father, asked me, please remember this thing. So that's where you're going to find yourself happiness if you can maintain that position. It's not easy, because how to maintain it is you have to understand, you have to wise enough to understand everything around you. Like, for example, you have friends. Your friends is love doing this, but you don't like this. It's not bad. It's not necessarily bad, or it's bad, the difference. If we understand. So, for example, this is typical mangoes. If you don't like to eat mangoes, why we eat mangoes, right? So we understand. So we eat banana. But it's there. So for us to understand what's around us and understand, and we wise enough, that's how we should be. So we maintain that, and everyone's becoming friends and everyone's becoming family. So we help each other in that capacity. So we're not expecting too much, because expecting is also something that actually going to give us disappointment, right? So we do something that because we love to do. So it's not expecting someone, okay, in return, you're going to pay this because I help you. So in that context, in philosophy, that's my father asked me to keep that balance.
I heard that as, let's say, giving to give. Have you heard it like that before?
Yes, the more you give, the more you get, basically.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like what I looked into a few years ago is like,
most people, they give to get. It's like you give, even if you just help someone, sometimes you like give to get good emotions, maybe even. But usually people, they give to build their, let's say, a relationship of when they then kind of like can take. And usually people feel that even. And like if you feel that somebody wants to help you because then later down the road they want something in return, it's kind of like, it doesn't feel that good. So it's, for me, it sounds like a lot like the concept of giving to give, where you give and you know that if you're going to give, you're going to receive, but not necessarily from the person or from whatever. You just, it's kind of like it's just part of you. And this is kind of like the philosophy. Do I understand that correct?
Yes. And also, it comes to the personality of the individual. Sometimes it's like in Bali, we sometimes because we community oriented, so we help each other in a way. Yeah. So we live in this Banjar, what we call is the organization.
Banjar?
Banjar.
Banjar.
So it's like a community organization in Bali. So we help each other when people have a ceremony. So one family have a wedding ceremony and have any kind of ceremony. So we help each other in that like a sort of like a family. So when it comes to help people, I see we are different. We are people around us are different, and we would be good. We not expecting. So if we can help, we help. If no, it's much better to say straightforward. Sorry, I'm afraid I cannot help you, but at least I can lend you something or something, yeah. But not pretending to help in return something. So that's sometimes in the nature of some people that they don't want to disappoint their friends, basically when saying that sorry, I can help, you know. So I see that's actually what it means, what you're saying before.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing. Very interesting. Stephen, quick question. The video is still running, right? Maybe you can keep a little bit of an eye on it. All right, great. So first of all, thank you very much for the insight in, let's say, Balinese culture. That's extremely interesting. Talking about, let's say, your upbringing in the first few steps, let's say, into bodybuilding, kind of like the story of how you got into, what was your first success, the very big ones, and then, let's say, later down the road, how you prepared for it, what was like the mental mindset behind it, what was like, let's say, the first entrance?
Yeah, bodybuilding is a tough sport, honestly. So I must say that I admit that back then, when I started in Bali, as everyone knows, Bali is small, but everything is here. But when it comes to fitness, is something that we didn't have much professional athletes back then. So I didn't have enough knowledge, I would say, when it comes to knowing how to do the right diet, to do the proper training when it comes to bodybuilding, when it comes to preparing yourself to competition. So there was nothing that I can actually understand better in preparing myself for competition. I just basically back then just do and see how it goes. So I can see that myself did something that what we believe now with the science, the knowledge of fitness shouldn't do.
Should not
because,
do. Okay.
Yes, should not do. Because what I did in the past is purely the opposite. Purely what I believe this is what I got.
Like, how did it look? Just chest every day, or is that what?
No. For example, what I mean is, I basically with the minimum facility, I would say, no money, and try to basically improve myself and see how far I can go in this fitness. Is something that I see it is a purely like a mindset. If I see it now, is it okay with the noise?
It's okay. We're sitting right now in a little restaurant here in the Peppers in Seminyak. It's filling up a little bit, but it is what it is.
Okay. So basically, with limited things around me at the time, I maximize what I've got, basically. It's like a mindset. So if I have to eat only one time, I eat one time, but I train twice. So for example, in the morning, in preparing for the competition, for example, throughout my experience and self-experience, it's so difficult unless you really, really want it and you really, really commit it. And luckily, as I mentioned before, the discipline there that I have through my martial art, that I could not just do halfway, and I have to finish until what I consider it's a finish. So that is in my it's in my blood until now. Anything, it's a what do you call now? It's perfectionist. Yeah. So I drive myself. One, I commit on one thing, so I have to finish it.
So you say it comes from the martial art?
That part of martial art.
You said your dad a little bit.
And also my personality that really I want to accomplish something that I don't like doing something half. That's it. So I did that, and I decided to go to this bodybuilding world industry, competing to be an athlete from national to international level. At the beginning, to compete nationally was quite challenged because at the time I didn't have enough money to buy even eggs or chicken or even supplement back then. So while now is a supplement's a big thing. So just to buy eggs, lucky enough I have meals twice at a time. While bodybuilding, you need to have quite enough nutrition, especially protein, right, to build the muscle. Especially you do it naturally. So it's quite challenges to build such a big muscle with a limited amount of protein, and with the training facility is not really state of the art facility that I use. So when I prepare myself for the national competition, my parents, especially my father, I've heard my parents and my mom into a discussion that they don't have enough money anymore to buy me eggs for my next competition in 2 weeks. So at the time, my father said to my mom, "Please stop tomorrow because we don't have enough money to buy more eggs for Komang." Yeah, because after his competition, so he still need to find a job to work to earn money. So why don't stop now? So we're not losing more money just for something that actually is not promising.
So your father suggested that you stop bodybuilding in a way.
Yes, and it was difficult for me because I have to go to Jakarta. At that time I have to go to Jakarta to compete for national competition. Through limited finance, I would say source. So I basically eat just rice and vegetables at the time, just to finish it, so I can compete and see how it goes from there. So that's quite I would say mental challenge, because you love what you're doing, but at the time that you rely on the money that actually you don't have, and you don't have enough nutrition, but you already promised to the national team that you're going to compete, and the national team will give you money after. So at the beginning, you don't have money to prepare yourself. So it's kind of like a depression period for me to complete my task, basically. But I push through and see how it goes. I just keep training. And then at the end, I competed in Jakarta. I was on 4th place. So, and I was on stage at the time. And then that actually gave me more motivation to actually push myself beyond what actually I can do, especially when I was on stage. This is something that I still remember until now. I was on 4th place, and everyone came, all the audience, shake hand, the winners, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And I stood there, and I tried to friendly with everyone. I tried to give my hand, but someone just come and look at me and just walk away. Didn't even see that I'm there. So it's like I'm nobody. It's like you are nobody. You're not really something that I want to learn from you, you know. So at the time, it just really gave me something. Wow, is this what people must be experienced? that when you're not winning anything, disappointment, you know what I mean? And people just see you as a loser, and you don't have.
So how did you deal with that?
So on my way back from Jakarta, actually we went there by bus. It took us 1 day by bus to go to Jakarta. Yeah? But now actually by plane, it's only 45 minutes. So on my way, on our team, on our way to Bali, I just sat in the bus and then think, wow, what next? So no money. I know what my father gonna say to me. So how can
No
I?
eggs anymore.
No eggs, definitely. So I need to look some option. So then I just basically no clue. I just basically couldn't figure out what to do next at the time. I just blanked. So I got in Bali. 1 day, 2 days, 1 week passed until 1 month, and then I start thinking, maybe I just train and see how it goes, and I just keep my body fit. That's the idea. And then I went to the gym and then start training, and then start talking to friends and some people that I know, and then they asked me, "Hey, Komang, why don't you help to support me? I pay you." Oh, yeah, you will? Yeah, you support me. I give you some money. How much you want? It's up to you. As long as I help you, and that's what you want. Yeah, sure. You help me like training 1 hour. You support me, and I give you money. Okay. And then from there, I feel lift. Yeah. So I feel like, wow, there's a way.
Okay.
So
that's how you got into coaching?
then I started
Kinda like happened very
helping people. Yeah, helping people, and then people love my basically support when they comes to training, and then tell them what to do and supporting a little bit, lifting them, and then it's becoming a routine that I have appointment. Yeah. So then realizing that the idea is to get fit to go to the gym, and then suddenly you get this opportunity open for you. So and then I said to myself, oh, must be there is a way for me, because with this good intention first, the intention to get fit, and then the other opportunity coming, and then I just started from there until now, realizing that I have to maintain my condition and body fit at all times. That's the key for any opportunity, anything I want to do. And then I start competing for national, and then I was second place in the national back in year 2000, and then I was so happy, so excited at that time that finally my career in bodybuilding gonna be a national team for Indonesia for the SEA Games back then, because they did a technical meeting. So if you are on the first or second place, you will be the national team. So the government will finance you. Yeah, they put you in like a camp.
Okay.
So eat, train, and sleep. So what a dream!
Eat, train, sleep, repeat.
Those were the days. Yeah. So I was so excited, and then I was second place, but they didn't call my name. They didn't even give me an opportunity to represent Indonesia for the SEA Games. So another thing that actually motivated me. At the time, I was disappointed because, I was expecting, and it's part of a process that I understand that I have to keep going. And at the time, because of we in this frame mind that we expecting, I especially expecting that someone gonna help me with my food so I can train. And then turns out it didn't happen. So then I met some people, and then I learned some fitness from magazine that friends from Australia back then bringing me a present, a fitness magazine. Then I read, and I just just consider myself, wow, this is so excited. This industry is so something that I'm really looking forward. And then a friend of mine invited me to come to Australia to have a look outside Indonesia. So that's my first overseas experience back in 2002. Actually, after the bomb happened in Bali. Yeah,
Bombing in Bali?
yeah.
Okay.
So then I went to Australia, and then my friend there actually showed me around. took me to a gym, and then I saw this poster competition in October. It was in March 2002. And I said to my friend, can I enter this comp? He said, let me talk to the promoter. And then he went and talked to the promoter. The promoter is Australian, really nice guy. Until now, we're still good friends. His name is Michael Mara. So he used to Mr. Australia. He's well known in Australia. He has a great character and really kind of like trying to do his best in the industry to motivate people to get fit. And until now, he's a good promoter for Australia. I consider the best event in Australia is Mike's competition in Western Australia. So he came and then said to me, yes, of course, you can compete in October. So we are looking forward to have you on our stage. I said, wow, it's like a thunder strike, yeah? And I said, wow. And then at the time, I was so excited. And then my friend said, well, there you go. So you're preparing now. So where you want to prepare, Komang? And then I said, with my visa, I think I have to go back to Bali then. And plus, maybe cheaper for me to prepare in Bali. Now, well, if you want to prepare here, we have some friends to support you if you want. I said, well, that's really nice of you, but I would prefer to prepare in Bali, but thank you. And but definitely I want to compete in October. So long story short, I prepared myself in Bali for that comp in October. And then that competition actually state competition in W, and then the winner is qualified to compete for the national, for the Australia. So then I competed in the state comp, and I won all the overall under 80 kilogram class. And then they asked me to represent W to compete in Sydney that time for the national competition. And I said, wow. And then as I mentioned before, my background with financially is not really friendly at the time, right? And then I said to him, I'd love to compete representing WA. Is there anything that maybe can help me to get there? Yeah, of course. We're sponsoring your ticket, the accommodation, the food.
So that was a big relief.
That's big relief. And I just need to extend another 1 week to stay in Perth. And I said, wow, of course, I'll represent WA. So then 1 week later, went to Sydney for the national comp. And I won the national title there, under 80 kilogram class again. So the competition was so tough. It was quite numbers of top athletes back then, I would say, and they all in a great condition. And it's just at the time, it's just something that I see that my potential is there, my commitment there, and then the opportunities there. And I think with a good intention, I would say.
Good intention?
Good intention that I really want to do the best I can be in this sport, right? So I think that helps me a lot to motivate me to push myself when it comes to training beyond what I see as, okay, this is enough. No, I push more. Anything what I consider this is enough, I push more. If I say I'm gonna do 20 reps and then my muscle already just couldn't handle the weight, and then the other mind came in and say, come on, another 10 reps, another 10 reps. It's just basically pushing me beyond. And that's what happened each time I decided to compete for the next level in my competitive career. So I won the national, and then everyone's so happy, and everyone's actually excited that finally I can see a bit of world outside there and also competing. It's basically productive, I would say, and have the.
You were how old? You were how old at that point?
How in what? Sorry.
How old were you at that point? Like how many years into bodybuilding? And you were like mid-20s or?
No, I was 29.
29.
Yeah, because one thing that I remember is 29. I was 29 years old that time, winning the Australian national competition, and then we had a celebration, small celebration. We eat pizza. You know, everyone after you come, you excited to eat pizza and ice cream. And then after sightseeing in Australia, 2 weeks after that, going back to Bali. And then I got this email from a big promoter in America. And apparently he watched me, my career, and he sent me email invitation that he wants me to compete in Musclemania 1 year later for the World Musclemania. November was that. And then I said, wow, okay, that sounds interesting, and let me know what's to do next. And then he said, well, just keep training, just prepare yourself for the November that you have the invitation that you're gonna compete in America in a Musclemania Pro World Championship.
Where was that? What city?
It was in Anaheim, California. So that's my then that's the comp, and then I was so excited, and then start preparing myself. So I don't see any kind of like a challenge of how to get there. Nothing. It's just basically I want to go there. That's all I have. It's like, for example, when you see A to Z, they say B, C, D, all this what do you call it, the structure. I just see it A, Z. So I prepared myself for 1 year. So I structure my training 6 months, bulking up, build muscle size, get my strength, and then 6 months later, just purely cutting, get the shape, get the definition, learning the posing, and basically to actually be the next level of who is Komang Arnawa back then, from the national Australian champion. And then now to the next level to be a professional.
We're gonna get into a workout right now with Komang. So what do you think? What are we gonna be doing?
Well, I think we're gonna mix it up. We do triple set, perhaps chest, back, biceps. Let's start with.
Chest, back, biceps. Okay, we're gonna do legs as well today.
Would be after. We'll see. After we've done 3 sets, and we just maybe combine with legs a little bit.
Alrighty.
So we just basically do upper and lower body part. What do you think?
Oh, sounds great. I just had a black coffee. I feel it kicking in a little bit, so I would say, let's start.
Do I look bigger? Come on.
Almost, mate.
Too fast.
We're here and we're continuing right at the championship, the World Championship, right? In Anaheim, California. So we were at the point where you said 6 month bulking, 6 month definition, posing, all of that, competition day, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's very interesting. Back then, I structure my training into that 2 phases. So 6 month bulking and then 6 month cutting to get the quality ready for the competition. So that come from experience, self-experience, that I think everyone has a different experience. Everyone has a different biochemistry. The training, it's so complex. So we, at the end of the day, we will have to find our own formula. It depends on what our goals. So I always see that as the main question of when you exercise, if you're gonna compete, what's your goals? Are you gonna be a bodybuilder? Are you gonna be a men's physique? Yeah. So you walk toward that, and before you decide, that sometimes it would be good to have someone with the professional eyes.
You told me I should do men's physique, huh?
To look at our body, because we sometimes, even for me back then, I'm not sure I'm a good bodybuilder or I'm a men's physique or something, right? So at least someone will tell, okay, you have the frame, so you'll be look good on this.
But there were no such thing as men's physique back in the day, were there?
It just pick up new, yeah.
Was a new thing back then?
Yeah. Back that time, no. It's just getting popular, I think, back in what year? It's just new.
Yes. That's
What they call it as the new phase of bodybuilding. So start pick up some, because the people, the new generation, I guess, they just don't want to train like a bodybuilder. They don't want to look like a bodybuilder, but they want to have a great physique and they want to compete. So that's where the this category come along. So people have a chance to actually self-testimonial, that not just telling people how to train, but actually they have experience on stage. So adding value to people that try to encourage people to live healthy. In fact, they are mostly the people that encouraging is also have a self-experience and experiments. So it's actually telling the real story, what they call real story, telling the real about fitness and stuff. So it's becoming so popular now. So yeah, back then focusing on bodybuilding, the training, and all I have in mind is just basically train heavy, eat a lot, lots of eggs, lots of chicken, yeah, and not necessarily supplement back then because I don't have money to buy supplement. I didn't have money to supplement that time, and especially my title is not enough to get people attention, especially in the fitness industry when it comes to supplement to endorse me. And then closer to the date, preparing my com, I'm ready, and especially 1 month before the com, I trained myself somehow different. Different means because our time zone is different. So America and Bali, it's a different time zone, right? So 2 weeks before, 1 month before the com, I changed my training structure. I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning to do my cardio for 1 hour, and then I did some posing, and then I rest, and then I had my breakfast back to normal. So I just changed my sleeping a little bit and training. Normally training morning like 7 o'clock, now 3 o'clock in the morning, and I did that for 2 weeks, and then it actually helps because I booked my flight and arrived in America 1 day before the weigh-in. So normally jet lag, yeah, you have the experience, and also long flight, your body start retain water because I don't have enough experience to compete long distance and in the level of that international. So the pressure, it's a good pressure, but still lack of experience, I would say. In a way, it's a good thing because I don't worry that much because I just basically, okay, I'm just going to wear my posing trunk and then color, my body's ready and compete, that's all. I didn't prepare myself for, okay, jet lag. I didn't prepare myself, okay, how can you get rid of water when your body starts look like a soft. So all that thing that I didn't have experience at all. So arrived in America, and then I did lots of walking, and actually because of the excitement first time to America, I mean competing, it's just so excited to see this country, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that jet lag or tired or sick. It's just basically I'm here.
Hormones took over.
I know. It's just for the right purpose, I would say. And I walk around and then bought some food, and then rest in one hotel, and then get ready for the weigh-in the next day. So then weigh-in, and then I asked the promoter. I asked him, look, for tomorrow weigh-in for registration, am I compete in a professional or in the amateur? And he said, of course, you're in a professional. You won the title in Australia. You're national champion. So you're here as a professional with your experience and who you are. You're not amateur anymore. So you're going to compete against professional here. oh, okay. So I realized, okay, so until someone tell me that you're professional, normally we undervalue ourselves. Yeah, we don't realize our value.
Yeah.
And this is something that actually I learned along the way through bodybuilding, and not just bodybuilding. It just shaped me the value about life as well, through the experience, through the culture, uh, and through the industry that I see it's a quite tough sport. Tough.
So what would you say was the lesson out of you realizing that you are further and, let's say, on a different level than you thought you would be? You've been working for years and some struggling, and now all of a sudden you have a little bit more of success and people starting to recognize that. What was the lesson from it to kind of like maybe allow yourself earlier to see yourself like that? Or
In my view, I see myself that recognize who we are and value ourselves at the beginning is actually a good start. So, for example, like let's say when it comes to training, when it comes to competing experience, I have that knowledge now. So sometimes it's good. What we say, perhaps in my case, not everyone, because I'm from Bali, small island, right? So our mindset is completely different. So I would say, what do you call like Asian culture? So we respect elders, even we know we don't say that we know. We allowing the older tell us first, yeah, that sort of thing. While in the West, perhaps you're so confident, yes. Can you do this? Yes, even you don't know, and then you just look up on Google and you learn from there, right? So you just confident because perhaps that's the nature, yeah. So for us Asian, we still look left and right, perhaps, right? So we're not sure, is that the right thing? And then we just look and we observe, yeah. That's perhaps. So that actually something that maybe in my blood in the past. So even I confident enough that I can teach people. I kind of like maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So lack of confidence, self-esteem, and then throughout this self-experience and experiments in bodybuilding, so it just basically built me that you are what you are. You know what you know. You know? So it just now I'm in a position. I mean in a stage where, well, this is who I am. So there is no such a maybe not. So you want to train? How can I help? So you just basically meet the right person to actually share the experience.
So would you maybe wish that happened earlier in your, let's say, career or life journey, that you came to this, let's say, certain stage where you kind of like can see yourself like that? Would you wish that happened earlier maybe, or you think everything's good the way it went?
It's interesting you asked that.
Because I think a lot of people struggle with that they are actually quite good. Like for me, I'm definitely at the beginning of my journey, but for years I did not allow myself to talk about the topics that I wanted to talk about, even though I've been educating myself for years. I've been talking to people about it, but I felt like, oh, I'm not there yet. But then at some point I was like, well, maybe you're not there yet, but you can share, let's say, the journey of getting there. You can share what you already know, what you experience. And I kind of like would feel that I allow myself more than other people do. And I see that people struggle. They're like, I'm not good enough yet. I'm not sure. Kind of like, I think that's a big thing that people struggle with.
Yeah, and I see also almost say the same thing like you asked me. And then I just realized that there is a process. And then my process is through bodybuilding, yeah? To build who I become, and not necessarily against the process. So it took me quite years. But now realizing like what you do now, like so many information out there, yeah? Some the younger one now, to convince themselves, it takes time to convince that they can. But to be honest, in fact, all successful people, all professional, they're all amateur back then, right?
Everybody
All-
starts as a nobody.
That's right. So now, if we can switch that mindset and equip ourselves with the knowledge and surround ourselves with the right people mindset, that all actually with a good intention to do good thing with people and actually give them sort of like the right purpose, that what they want to do is actually bigger than for themselves. It's a start talking not just it's talking about we. I'm creating this to help people. Hopefully what I do is actually for the people. So then with that will actually give you encourage to actually whatever the information you need, somehow you meet the right people. When you Google something, just something came up what you need, yeah? Because you actually in line with your soul, with the right purpose. And that actually helps some people as well.
So you're saying the moment it becomes more than just about you, that can give you a lot more energy and, let's say, give it more meaning and therefore give you more drive?
I would say that correct, yes. So my experience back then after is just about myself. In bodybuilding and everything, it's all about myself. And I don't realize it's not a bad thing, because that somehow built me to somehow with the information self-experiments, so that it's becoming valuable to other people, yeah. But at the time, I just see it just for myself, and then I train people, I make money. And then how long you can train people, how long you actually generate money for something that just for yourself. What you're gonna buy a house, you're gonna buy a luxury car, so you buy, whatever that is great. But sometimes would be good to keep the balance, as my parents asked me to maintain the three-hita karana, Balinese concept. So we actually, if we ask people, what actually you want to achieve in this life? Some people say, if you ask people, not so many people can ask straight away, I wanna have enough money to buy maybe Mercedes Benz or something, or a nice house, or live in a penthouse or something. They couldn't answer it. But actually, if you know the answer, like actually now I tell you that if you ask, so what actually you want to achieve in life? Of course, you want to be happy, because happy is everything. But not just happy, you want to look fit, and you want to look good, and you actually want to be in a positive way. Your existence actually to complete this process of the universe. Yeah, we are just part of a particle to complete what is the universe need to be done. So either passing the information. So in my view, I see it myself as something to contribute of my knowledge, to give people actually what I know. Maybe for them, it's going to be giving them a better life. Yeah. So in a way, that actually giving me energy, satisfaction, and indirectly happy. I just feel like I have lots of money somehow. So like when I did an event, people competing, people excited about the competition. They just finally can show themselves that wow, I did it. And then in that moment, I feel like, wow, I feel lift. Even I lost a lot of money to set up something, but what I do with the right purpose and just for the people. And somehow you just get up in the morning, you're excited. The challenge becoming something to motivate you. It's not challenge that depress you. Yeah, you just basically wanna okay, give me more. What's there? So I actually end up becoming a life lesson that you actually meet the right people. You know how to do it right. Yeah, because it's basically a process that finding anything to do the right way, and also can be something beneficial for other people. And that actually something that in my time now is exciting.
Wow. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Whenever I listen, let's say, to people who, let's say, are further down their career, a lot of, let's say, accomplished people always come to the conclusion that contribution and giving back yields the greatest fulfillment and purpose. And yeah, it's very interesting to hear that all the time. And sometimes I experience like very small glimpses of that. Like obviously I'm very much at the start of everything that I do, but whenever I am on top of everything, whenever I feel like things are going well for me, I have this deep urge of sharing that and making other people be part of it. And I think that's where magic lies. So I totally
Yeah. And
can feel what
also,
you're saying.
and also something that, yeah, of course, we have to establish ourselves first. Right? Establish in a way that, okay, we have to have our skill in order to basically to live whatever we want. I mean, a skill that can help us to survive when it comes to food, when it comes to buy something. Yeah, not much, but at least we have something that secure us in that capacity. And then later on, we can see that how we can also contribute something, and then that will expand more. And then, believe me, it's opportunities just coming, keep coming. And then for some people that confused about what they want to do, what in life or what should they focus on, I think for me, in the past, I think would work to many people. First is just get fit, so exercise. Just every morning with a good intention. If you can smile in the morning, good intention, exercise, just to get fit. That's the first actually foundation. That actually when you really fit, you basically have the positive state of mind,
Right.
and then with that mind, you will actually attract positive thing as well. So people coming, and then then you have idea, and then that's how I would start.
So you're saying the physical part is much more than just about the body, it's the mind.
Because when we fit, that actually part of the secret of longevity, I guess, if you heard about it. I mean, through these books that I read, some have in line that with the mind that actually sending all information to this body. So if your body is not that fit, the message will say, don't look after them. It's just already weak. so, so how long you gonna live? You're not gonna long live enough, and your body not gonna absorb nutrition and everything, because the message from your mind already say you're weak. Why should we look after your body? So now, if you train and you fit, the brain say, oh, they need more nutrition. Look after. So whatever you eat with the condition, even you eat once, whatever there, your body will maximize it. So the nutrition enough to maintain this body. And then from that one, you start build up something different. Some people have a different kind of like a way of thinking, and then start from there. So the base is very important with fit at all times.
Interesting, very interesting. All right, I would say for today, we're going to wrap up with a few more questions, maybe practical things that you do day to day that you can maybe share, maybe with something that people can implement. My first question would be, we talked a little bit about early mornings, wake up. Do you have a morning routine? What time do you wake up?
Right. I think everyone heard about fitness is basically, I would say, ongoing journey. So we changed over time when it comes to like either 5 years, 10 years, depending where we live, depending what's our goals. I'm at the stage now actually maintaining my muscle mass. I want to look fit. I mean, I maintain this fit look, and I want to encourage people, motivate people, just by hang out with me, or maybe just talk with me, and they just give the motivation. I want to be like him, you know. So something like that, I really want to maintain. And in order for me to maintain that through my experience and my self experiments, what the formula that works best for me is actually most of the time I combine intermittent fasting. So I would eat like mornings. Used to I have something small, but now I don't eat because I'm not because I don't want to eat. I just don't feel hungry. Perhaps I've done some stages where I did ketogenic diet, for example, right? And then I eat lots of salad, like a vegetarian for 2 days, and then I eat try to eat lots of meat through my experience as an athlete, and also I combine all that sort of regime, eating pattern, and then at the stage now, I realize what our body is made of, and I try to maximize the function in order for for long term, my energy. So I try to having meal that consists of good fats, mostly a little bit higher than my carbs. What people knowing now is a ketogenic diet.
So what time do you usually have your first meal?
Uh, Mostly now I have like a 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my first meal, and then my second meal would be before sunset, like 6, later 7, and then when I'm social with friends at night, I'll just rather drink because I don't think that I need to eat. It's just my body start sort of like, if I may say it sounds crazy, start talking to me, right? Don't eat this. No, no, no. This is not good for you. No, you're gonna have this feeling in the morning. Yeah,
Like listening to your body in a way.
yeah.
At this point, after years and years of experience, like really.
It's kind of like in tune. So it's like they're communicating to me like right away. Like usually I love red wine. Yeah, I'm, I'm a big fan red wine. Social red wine, glass or 2 glass. Sometimes a bottle with friends. Yeah, and then I realize now when I have 1 or 2 glasses, even one sip, if the wine high in preservative, right away I felt like a dry in my joint, and then I know it's not good for my body. Yeah, so I stop.
That's it.
So I start that kind of, and then now I just realize it's the time is different. Used to it's okay, one bottle's fine, but now because of my intention of, as I mentioned, where I am at now, it's so important where you are at now, what you focus on. It's so important to keep asking ourselves that what's your goals? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, and where are you at now? So what is your situation? So for me now, I want to look like this for maybe 100 years, for example. Right? So it's just somehow the body with that mind frame, it's like a transformer. Right?
So longevity is really a big thing for you. You want to maintain and preserve, and
Yeah, being active and you're just happy, and then actually you basically are fit to do whatever you want to do. Yeah. So it's just basically like a transformer. Somehow my body now start building this foundation, saying that okay, this is what he wants. So we have to make sure, tell him somehow the mitochondria will be communicating each other, that controlling us. Okay, if he has this that not gonna beneficial for long term, we should give him signal. So something like that. So it just somehow that's what happened with my body at this moment. So yeah.
So the big thing that I like to often talk about is, let's say, early mornings, waking up. I'm not sure what is your opinion on, let's say, early morning, a morning routine. When do you like to hit the gym? But especially, like, what time do you generally wake up at?
Generally, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Really? So you do the 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. In the morning, normally, this is the thing. Maybe it's something that not for all people. In the morning, I when I go got up in the morning, I clean my house. I sweep the garden.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a secret.
So I just somehow love doing that. So I'm just watering my garden, yeah, and then I sweep the floor, clean up my garden, and then because I have 3 dogs, so I fed my dog first in the morning, and then afterward, and I do my breath work. So for 30 minutes breath work, my morning start, just basically to appreciate what I have, and actually what we also know as a gratitude. Thank you for the morning that I still alive, basically fit and healthy. So and then I normally cycle it to have something that more like a juice, like a vegetable juice. I mix chia seed, and then I put avocado, and then blueberry, and then I put cacao powder.
So that's like if you do have breakfast or
Yes. Mostly guideline is fiber and a little bit vegetables. And good fat, I mix it with raw nuts like almond or sometimes avocado or walnut.
so and why would you say why 5 a.m. why not 6 why not 7? Is there a special thing? Like for me there definitely is.
I found it that we have a different body clock. So in my feeling is just I found myself sleep early. I just couldn't do anything more than like 8 o'clock. So I just feel like, well, it's time to sleep. Yes, my body just says time to sleep. Okay, then I do my last thing before I sleep. So I do another.
Steven, can you shut down the baby back there? Can you do that? Just take care of it, man.
Are we continuing or
Yeah,
it's
we're
fine?
continuing, yeah.
It's
I mean,
an
it's-
interesting atmosphere here, so-
Yeah, I want to keep my interviews just natural. It's a conversation. It's what it is. There's a family back there with a little baby. Oh yeah, the mom take care. Good, Steven. It's all good.
So I just I found it that that's how I function. It's not really everyone has to do the same. So some people they just maybe sleep at 10 or 12. So find out that I think until now, up to now, that's my formula. That I feel that when I do that, the next day I just feel light, I feel fresh, and I feel like doing more thing. And it's just until 8 o'clock, so much thing that I can do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just becoming so productive. So that's what I feel.
That's what I see. Like for me, the two big things is the momentum that you create in the morning. If you get a few things done, you're like, wow, it's 9 a.m. I already have a good day. Like, let's see what else I can do. Or maybe not, but sometimes things happen by themselves, kind of. But for me, it's like just the quietness. Kind of like nothing going on. That's like the biggest thing for me.
And
I
especially,
really need that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, myself in the morning, get up in the morning. It's just so quiet. I love quietness. Sometimes I spend time in Ubud in a forest just by myself. Yeah, it's like my time. So I would spend my time there just by myself, read a book in a forest. I feel some people love ocean, some people love forest. Yeah, so I find myself forest just give me energy in a way that help me with the creativity mind. So if I spend time too much in the ocean, it looks good. It's just basically like a nice view, yeah. But it drains me. That kind of like environment drains me. But good fun with friends to hang out on the beach, yeah. But for me, it drains me. In the afternoon, it's just completely zap my energy. While in the forest, it's just giving me this kickstart, like a plant. It's just growing. It's just, oh yeah, I need to do this. That's where I spend most of my time. That's why in the morning when I get up, I love watering the garden. I love close with the plant, the nature. It's just giving me how they grow. It's just basically, there's always a way. Because we don't know anyone or we haven't done anything about what we want to do, doesn't mean that it's impossible. There's always a way, like a plant. It just keep growing. We just keep, with a good intention, it's just, we get there, yeah. It's just about finding the right people, the right would be again mindset. It's just how fast we want to reach the destination. Yeah.
I like that. All right. I would say last question for the day. What is the best advice you have ever received? You already talked a little bit about it. What would you say?
The advice? Well, I'm not really good in giving advice, but
What is the best advice you have ever received in your life from someone, or maybe a situation, maybe a life lesson?
well, in that case, I think I mentioned earlier, life in balance. In this case, from my parents, especially my father, mentioning about how to maintain the relationship between human and human and the nature. We look after the nature, and with the positive energy that we appreciate, we gratitude of, this life is so wonderful. Appreciation, gratitude. And when my father said that if you want a happy life, try to do this. Maintain the harmony. It's not easy, and it requires character, and you personally has to be fit enough to tackle any circumstances that not will affect you, not gonna make you feel down, but actually you can manage it as a positive thing. So things happen for a reason, and normally it's a for good thing. But because we don't see that way, because we're not fit, because we under a lot of pressure, stress, things happen actually bad thing, right? Because we upset someone, we work for a company that the boss fire you because it's actually maybe a good thing. They want you to be entrepreneur, to build your own business empire, right? But at the time, because we're not that fit, our orientation, our expectation is to make money, to live, to survive, because we have kids, we have we have wife, we have kids. So it's becoming not a whole package that what life is all about. Yeah? So we set ourselves too early, too soon for something that actually we have a better chance. We have a choice, basically. So that comes to a character and also fit. When you fit, you becoming so positive. You understand the situation. You passion. You understand, okay. And then you see things is like people saying, I am possible. So that's what I see.
All right, I really liked it, especially the connection again between the physical and the mind. I think that was really kind of like a key point that we went through in our whole conversation multiple times. Really like that. Amazing. So thank you very much. Where can people find you? You are on Instagram. What else are you working on? What is your Instagram called?
Komang Arnawa.
I'll link it.
And also my personal website, komangarnawa.com. So perhaps I can share my knowledge through training and through fitness to see where they are at now with their fitness, and actually asking them. Sometimes I have this sort of, through my experience with what people want and what in their mind is actually contradict. So sometimes they say, okay, I want to lose 10 kilo, but actually they want to lose 20 kilos, right? So I want to get fit, but they're still saying that, yeah, I eat healthy, I eat clean, but actually they're not eating clean. Their understanding is different, right? So in a way, somehow I want to contribute to actually share my experience, what they want at now and the long term is they may need to switch it a little bit, not for short term, maybe for long term. So we can discuss some of that about fitness, just to get fit or anything related with fitness. More than welcome to connect me through my website.
All right. So if you pass through Bali, I'm sure a lot of you will reach out to Komang. And actually, that reminds me of you also organize events or participate in some of them. And you were like, yeah, you could compete in men's physique. And I'm like, physically, I'm not that interested. But in terms of the mindset and what it would take to get there, I'm very, very intrigued. And I was like, not now. You were like 2021. Maybe
it's a positive challenge then. So maybe along the way, halfway, you find something different, and you're becoming a model of the something that related fitness that can motivate people. You never know. So.
Oh, right now the big goal is the podcast, the mindset content that I produce. So big goals for 2020, but also one of the things that I want to do is kind of like shoot a documentary around a big challenge that I would take on. So that might be it. We'll keep in touch. What do you think?
Thank you, Dan. So it's always pleasure to meet some people from different walks of life, different way of thinking. But I see it's a unique to see difference is a good thing. Yeah. So best of luck, and we'll catch up anytime when you're here in Bali.
Amazing, love it. Thank you very much, and talk to you soon. Until next time.